Hello! So, this is in fact not how you normally do an intro. It's not very professional and I haven't scripted it at all. And I haven't put on any makeup. And I just got back home from traveling, so there's that. But I am totally the Toad and I am back with another video. The reason I am doing this very impromptu, not scripted thing is that I decided I want to make a pair of pants. You see, I bought this pattern. It's nice, again from Black Snail's Patterns, of women's trousers. After being on my trip, I realized that I'm woefully underprepared for spring with my clothing. So I thought if I can manage to make these pants, and I like them, I could make them in a few different fabrics. Hopefully it will be fine to do, like, it says to do mid-weight, but I'm hoping that I can maybe do one that's more mid-weight and one that's a little bit more lightweight to see if I can wear them throughout the summer, because I get really easily overheated, so I'm not looking forward to that at all. So what I'm about to do in like an hour when the shop opens is I'm gonna go to my local second-hand shop and see if I can find some fabric there.
1 hour later.
I got out to the store. I got a lot more fabric than I'd hoped for, but less than I wanted, I suppose, because you always want more fabric. So this is sort of an impromptu haul of what I got. I got these sort of custard or cream coloured curtains. They are right now, but they will not be for very long. I think I'm gonna make, I'm thinking a skirt and maybe a matching vest. For the trousers, I'm hoping to go with this black fabric. It's not, I think, truly a twill. Maybe it is. I find it difficult to tell sometimes. It is 100% cotton, which I like. It's kind of stiff, but it's not too thick, so I'm thinking it will hold the shape nicely. I do like the stripes. I think that will add some interest to the pants. I am worried that it will end up looking like a tablecloth, because it is a tablecloth right now. I also found this really nice, I think it's also maybe a curtain, I think. Lastly, I found this piece of fabric, which I'm thinking I could turn into a blouse. I like the stripes and the collar, and it also goes together so nicely with the rest I've got here. Actually, all of this matches really well. Huh. Anyway, this is the fabric we want right now. We're gonna make sure that it's enough. According to this little information here, it should be just about enough. So I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. Huzzah! It fits! Okay. Now to cut it all out. But I'm so pleased that I bought just the amount of fabric that I needed for this. So, we're back with the pants, and as always, I started this project and then I had to put it on hold for a while, so I have no idea what I filmed and what I didn't. I have this lovely striped fabric. It frays a lot though, so there are these little fibers everywhere from it now. Step one, quite simply, is to form pleats in both the, what did they call it? The at the top and underside, as indicated on the patterns. It's very, actually, surprisingly simple so far. And obviously I know that it says that it's the third step, but the first two steps is basically just cut out the pattern and facing. So the first step you actually sew is what I mean. And I have started doing that. This is one of the sides. It has gotten so crinkly since I did this, but we shall continue by lining up the fly facing from bottom. You know what? This here looks rather a bit more complicated. So the next step is already a great deal more difficult, because it is the fly. I'm going to have to look at this a few times. I have a feeling, you know, because I've never done this before and it's not... It should be easy, but it isn't. That really doesn't make sense to me, why you would do that. Which is why I have to read these instructions again before I get back to you. First of all, I want you guys to look out for this. These are two different pattern pieces. You can see that this one has a narrower edge here and that one has a wider one. And if you look up here, 3 and 4, that one has the wider one, that one has the narrower one. So for now, we want number 3, the one with the narrower one. Black Snail's pattern had a tutorial for how to make these trousers and it saved me. This is not intuitive. I mean, it's very simple when you see the pictures that's on the tutorial, and I will link it down below, of course. But it's much easier when you see the pictures. So what you do, so you take piece number 3, you line it up with a pant leg, like this, right sides together. You stitch along here, and then it's marked a spot here where you stop stitching. This will then be trimmed down and notched to this point. So once you've stitched to the point, you will trim back the seam allowance, and you will also notch at the point where you stopped stitching. So you can then take this and flip it over. I might have to do a voiceover for that if you can't hear me mumbling behind the fabric. So you take piece number 3, attach it right sides together with the pant leg, stitch to the spot where you're supposed to stitch, trim down this seam allowance, snip snip, flip it over, press. That's what we do first. So, you do in fact need some lining material as well, and I did not have that, or at least it doesn't seem like I cut that out, and I don't have any fabric left. Sorry, I've got something in my eye. But I do have some black bed sheet, and I think that would do nicely. I mean, it's lining, it's not supposed to be visible, it's soft and comfortable, it's 100% cotton, so we're gonna go with that. And cut out some lining, and then I think I figured out what we're gonna do, or how to do it, and we'll see if I'm right in just a second. So, here is what I think needs to happen, although I'm not entirely sure. I think that you're supposed to line up the fashion fabric, and then in the middle you sandwich in your lining, and on top you have your interfacing, and then you sew straight down here. You trim away the excess, and then you can flip this like so, and you will have a piece that is finished here. But then you need to finish these edges, and the Black Snail patterns tutorial says that you can cast the raw edges or use an overlock, and I'm gonna see what I will do, because this fabric is very prone to fraying, so I'm a bit worried that if I just overcast it that it will keep fraying. I mean, you can see already I've just handled it for a little bit, and I already have little specks of it everywhere. This is now what we have. So these are the 3 layers. If you flip it, you can see it's the fashion fabric, and the interlining, and the lining. And here we have the pant leg, and the other one that I sewed on top. And now we come to the part where this is supposed to be attached here. We could probably bind these at the same time, because I think what's going to happen is that this is just sewn on like this, but only here, because then you still have the gap. Before we do that though, we still have to sew the buttonholes. So I'm gonna really quickly check my button stash for a few buttons that are similar enough. It doesn't really have to be that great, because they're not supposed to be visible. So these are the buttons I've decided to go with. As you can see, they do not match, except for maybe those two. And I also pressed this. We're gonna get our handy dandy pattern out again and just mark where they're supposed to be. And I will do these on the machine since the holes will not be visible. So it doesn't matter if they are just a little bit crooked, because I started hand sewing here, overcasting it, and I'm not sure how secure it will be. Maybe if you use a different thread, but it's not great. So what I will do is I think I'm gonna zigzag it by machine. I prefer overcasting because I feel like I have more control over what I do, but in this case I'm just afraid that it will not hold for some reason. This fabric is fraying a lot, as I said before. One thing that I've noticed with a lot of Black Snail's patterns is that they tend to skip over how to secure the raw edges in their projects. Sometimes they will be like, yes, and then fix that hem. And you're like, great, but I don't think they specify how to fix this, for instance, and that edge, and also this where I cut, it will fray. It will fray a lot. I think I should probably learn not to use fraying fabric. But yes, that was the right choice, I think. It's much more secure now. It also looks a little bit better, except for down here where I just stitched over where I had already started, but we don't look at that. We don't. Now let's see how we continue. That will be exciting. So next step is simply to top stitch along this line here. If I flip this, you can see the inside. It's just along this line here. And I'm sure you could just do it from this side because it would be easier to follow. But I'm gonna do this by machine because there's so many layers and I'm getting lazy, I suppose. If I do it to this side, my machine has a tendency not to be very neat looking at the bottom of the seam, so I'd rather this here be neat. I'll keep placing this on top of my laptop because I think it's gonna be more visible than on this. I'm not sure if that's true though. So I have just top stitched along here. Get a little bit snaggly at some places, but I think it's okay. And if we do this, you can see the buttonholes are there, and I actually managed to get the right side up, which I thought I did it wrong, but I apparently did it right, so go me. That is done. Now we're gonna do, I think, something similar to the other pant leg. Here it says, line up the bottom stay. There's no such thing as a bottom stay, but I'm guessing they mean the bottom catch. That is number 4, and if you remember, it's the one with the slightly wider part. So, after looking at both the booklet and the Black Snail's pattern tutorial online, again linked below, I think this is what needs to happen. I have lined up the 2 piece number 4s and just stitched along here so that they're together. So what I think we're supposed to do, hang on, I can't do this with one hand. Put it up to the pant leg, stitch until there, and then you can flip this and it'll be okay, I think. And then you just fold down the edge on the inside. I think I've done it right, although I'm not entirely sure. I have now sewn down this in place up to that spot there about. I did this by hand because, oh my god. Then I clipped this, and now you can just flip. And I hope I'm doing this right. We have now flipped that to the inside, and we can take this here, fold it in, and fell it down. Pocket times, which is always nice, and the pocket pattern for this. It's enormous, and this isn't even the final form, because you're supposed to add this part to it. And that is actually the first step, to stitch the pocket facing, this one here, which is number 5, I think. So the first thing you do with the pockets is to add piece number 5 to piece number 6 and just stitch them together. And that part seems easy, I understand it, then I have no idea what to do, and I need to check the tutorial again and hope that it tells me what to do there. This is what the pockets now look like. So you can see I have just added the pocket facing, I think it was called, to the main pocket, and then I have folded it in half and I've pressed it. So because I didn't understand the instructions of the pockets first, I decided to just try one of them to see if I could get the hang of it. And I did, I think, at least manage somewhat. So here, you can actually stick in your hand and there is a pocket. And it wasn't that difficult, it was just a little unintuitive at times. You take the pocket and you open it up, so it's no longer folded. And you sew it right sides together. So you add them, you place them together, right sides together, and you do it on the edge that is away from the front, so towards the side seam. And then you sew along here, but you only do it where the pattern indicates. So it's actually where the pocket hole will be later, which is what confused me so much. You then press, and you press it so that it will want to stay on the inside of the pants once you're done. So I have already done that, and now you have something that looks a little bit like this. What you do next is you take the corresponding back piece. So what I did last time that I found worked, because it took me a few tries. So here are the two pieces. This is the one that already has the pocket sewn onto it, and this is the back piece. And as you can see, this has the right side up, and it has this little point here, and so does this one. So it's right sides to right sides, and I line them up. And then I just take this and I scooch it to the side, and I pin it together with the pocket again, and I only sew as it's specified on the pattern. Now we have a piece that looks very weird, but it isn't. So what we want to do now is to grab these two pieces with a floppy bit in the middle and bring them together so that the pocket folds out the top part together. So this is the pocket, this is the pant leg, or like that, it's not pant leg but the top of the pants, and we pin all the way down to where we sewn the pocket to the pants. I have completed the pant leg. So now we're gonna tackle the pocket itself. So what you do basically is just line up the pocket, and then you stitch down to where the stitching stopped before. So it's like it stops right there. So you start there and you stitch up, and you do the same to this part. So you start around there, you stitch up the pocket. But what I will do first is actually hem this. So I thought I did one of the legs wrong, so I was just gonna, like I did it wrong ways together. So I split it open and I realized no, I did it right ways together. But then why are these legs not mirrored? I have two right legs, which I should not have. This should be the left leg, but it's not. It's another right leg, which means that somehow I probably forgot to mirror them, and I'm not looking forward to this at all. And I'm thinking if there's something I could do not to do it, but there isn't, really isn't. I need to redo the entire thing. I should just double check before I start cutting, right? And I probably won't even be able to fit the pants, so it's not great, but I'll fix it. We're back on track. I fixed it. I did sort of a faux French seam on this and I removed the pocket because I just couldn't be bothered with a pair of pants that I don't even think will fit. And I realized I had missed to read one step, and that is to turn the right pant leg right side out, and I think this is the right pant leg, otherwise I do not think it matches that much. The right side and the left side, and the left side is still wrong way out. I just have to double make sure, yeah, it is. Whereas the right side is now correct. And then you take the right pant leg and you slid it into the left pant leg. Get the crotch seam and the crotch seam, and yes, they are now right sides together. You can now pin and sew all the way around up the back. Now we have something that looks like this. So the right leg is right sides out and the left leg is right sides in. I have slid the right pant leg into the left pant leg and then pinned all the way around, I should say, the crotch seam. And now we're supposed to sew it. And I think that they say that this is best to sew by hand, although I'm not sure why. This is what it looks like now. I have turned the pants right side out, and I have just pinned this down, and then we're supposed to bar tack this little edge down here to secure it. It's time to try on the pants, and I will wear my shirt over just until we know if I can even get this up my butt. So good news is I managed to get the pants on. They are very tight over the hips, and I suspect over the butt. Well, it's kind of big over the stomach. This is a problem that I always have with pants. I'm not sure how they actually look. I am hoping, however, that when I release these, because I think they are only supposed to be actually attached up on the waistband, that will add enough space for the rest of me, because I feel like I might split them at any second. I'm not sure about this little thing, if I should stitch that down here, because I'm not sure if you can see, but that looks weird. So it is in fact waistband time. And they have an interfacing for the waistband. I won't bother with that. Yep, pin it in place to reveal about the same amount, that is the seam allowance, and then you just stitch straight across. I forgot to mention, when you sew across here, you stop. You stop where this ends here. So you don't sew all the way, you stop there. Kind of important. Yeah. So, for those of you who are not in Sweden, I can tell you that right now Sweden is hot. At least if you ask me, it's 20 degrees and it's so humid. So my brain is functioning so. I do not like warm weather, so yay to 3 more months of this. Anyway, I only told you this because that means that I accidentally finished the, the waistband. I mean, I didn't accidentally finish the waistband, but I forgot to show you guys that I did and how I did it. This is what it looks like so far, and I think that ideally you want these to be able to close on top of each other with a button. But I do not understand how you're supposed to be able to do that. It makes no sense to me. So I will just finish them off with a normal double folded hem, and I can see now that French seaming this seam was a really mistake, because now I can't really. And after we've done that, we're supposed to attach the knee straps, and And then I think we're pretty much done, except for, of course, the buttons. Knee straps. They are sewn just like the waistband is. So we have now completed the knee straps. I have folded them so they are now right sides out, and I've pressed them, as you can see. And it will be great to be able to remove the basting of the pants, so oh right, no. Oh lord, I forgot to do that. So sometimes I amaze myself by not reading the instructions, or reading them and then just forgetting them instantly. So what we do first, because these are way bigger than the knee strap. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sew 2 sets of straight stitch rows just along the entire leg, so we can gather it to fit the knee strap. I only did 1 row because I'm lazy. So now we can actually start to see if we can't add this up. I can't manage to get the part where we folded to actually do the thing. It just will not, and I'm afraid if I pull any harder here it's going to break the thread. So that's a bit annoying, but... So I'm not sure if you can see, but on the inside here is the gathers, which are not neat, and again I need to cut that little snippet there, because otherwise this will create a fold here that I do not want. It's the problem when you do not do it by hand, or at least for me. A little nail there. And if you look at this side, I have pinned it right sides together. This is the flap that we created before, and once we've sewn this down we can fold this in on itself and tuck it away beneath and fell that down. It is done! We now shall take out the gathering stitches and sew in the buttons, but I'm gonna take out the gathering stitches first, just because I want to try these suckers on. So, the pants are ready for trying. I put on a pair of stockings. Stocking is probably not the right word, just to be able to try them on camera, because otherwise this is just a little bit weird. So let's see. Yeah, they fit. Oh lord. No idea what they look like, but they do fit. And when I say fit, I mean I can wear them without being uncomfortable. I'm sure you can tell that my hair is wet. I had a shower and I had an epiphany in the shower. Because I was thinking that that this looked super weird. I didn't get it, and I thought I've been doing something wrong and I don't know what. I have, this one should be on top, and then this little thing tucked in neatly inside, and now it looks normal. It looks like an ordinary pair of pants. I found, if I can manage to hold them up, these buttons. They are these two. There's 2 of them. I will use for the legs, and this one I will use for the top of the fly. Or the fly, I guess. They are plastic, so they are not great, but ooh, eyes, button eyes, ooh. Yeah, I really don't like this button stitch on the machine. Not sure if you can see if I hold it up. The stitch starts like right there, but then the buttonhole is only like right there. I think it's because the way it determines how wide to make the hole isn't great. You can still like it will get the wrong size.
Touch this.
So with that, the pants are officially completed, and there are a few things that I would like to discuss with the pants that I learned while making them. The first one is that when I flipped the pant leg, or rather forgot to flip the pant leg so that they mirrored each other and the pocket were on the wrong side, and I decided to take sort of the easy way out and just redo it without the pocket. I Frenched seamed the thing, sort of, and I didn't realize that that might not be the best, because near the knee strap there's sort of a slit in the pant, and that turned out different on both pant legs, and I think the one where I didn't French seam the pant leg is the one that's more attractive to look at. I don't think it's necessarily more correct, it's just the way I prefer it, and it's the way it's described in the pattern as well. I do really like them, they're very comfortable, much more comfortable than I thought they'd be, and they actually fit. I was a bit worried that I wouldn't fit them, but since there are so big pleats in them, there's loads of extra room in the hip area, and that I really like. So they're not overly tight, and I could see myself wearing them all the time. There is one problem with the pants, and that's the fabric choice. I didn't realize just how much it would fray, but also how much it sort of attracts dust. I will show you a close-up of my leg right now, where I've just walked about the apartment a little while, and it's already gathered a lot of hair and a lot of dust. Now, of course, our apartment needs a good vacuum cleaning, but still, that can potentially be annoying. Due to the fact that it sort of frays easily, I'm a bit worried about the longevity of the pants. However, since this pattern actually was very easy to follow and I didn't really have to alter it to fit me, I could just redo these pants again with a fabric that's more suited to my liking. And I will try so hard next time not to get one of those really fraying fabrics. I do think that I made the button fly correctly after realizing that one mistake, that I had sort of overlapped them incorrectly. But I do see a tendency for it to sort of gape and reveal the buttons, which for me are brown and not matching. I don't think that would have been so much of an issue if I had chosen black and matching buttons. However, again, that doesn't really bother me, and it's not a critique of the pattern, just more my laziness and unwillingness to go out and buy new buttons. That's not really supposed to be visible anyway. I would deem this a success. I will wear them so much, especially now since summer is about. It's good to have a pair of shorter pants that are loose and nice to wear through the heat waves, because I hate heat waves so much. So anyway, if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe and all of that jazz, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! If I could stop yawning when I'm filming, that would be great. Somehow. And that was supposed to attach to the kneecaps. Kneecaps? That's with the buttonhole stitch. I'm happy with the pants though. So